Folks, you probably saw the news. Contract extension agreed upon. Markkanen, Jazz, 5 years, about $240 million. He will not be a Warrior in 2024. He cannot be traded in 2024. So, what's next for the Warriors? We're going to break it down on this episode of Warriors Digest with Randy Silver. 5 burning questions about the near term and far term for this Warriors team. ESPN has an article breaking it down, so we're going to use that as our guide and dive into what is happening on the future for the Warriors. If you're not subscribed to Warriors Digest, we appreciate you getting on the train, subscribing, helping us get to 6,000 fans. Goals 10,000 by the start of the season, about 2.5, maybe 3 months away. We're growing this channel very quickly, and one way we're growing it is we have a sponsor. We appreciate NordVPN being here with us. And to share about them for a second, NordVPN. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It allows you to surf the internet anytime, anywhere, any place, safely. It protects you from malware, remote file access, dark web monitoring. So people all across the world aren't going to be able to get into your files wherever you're going. You can be in the US surfing European websites or vice versa, and you can have the protection with NordVPN. You see right here the code nordvpn.com/warriors. There's a special discount that you get by using my code, and I highly recommend using NordVPN. Before I became a sports reporter, I was working in cybersecurity, and VPN was the choice to use. Safe browsing, password security, encrypted files. Use nordvpn.com/warriors. Go get the offer today, and wherever you are, and we have Warriors Digest fans around the world, it allows you to be able to surf the web safely. Thank you, NordVPN, for being a sponsor. So the question is, what is next for Golden State? We did not get Markkanen. We didn't get that splashy trade. So what are the 5 burning questions that we have coming up? The first thing is, what will we do after Markkanen is gone? I kind of broke this down on the last video. Well, we did not want to give up Brandon Podziemski. So that means he's here to stay. We did not give up Kuminga. Pretty sure that means he's here to stay. Joe Lacob, Mike Dunleavy Jr. think Brandon is the future of this Warriors team, along with Kuminga, along with Trayce Jackson-Davis, along the lines of this is your core building forward with. They did not want to give him up. He's untouchable. When Steph is gone, Brandon's your primary point guard. See him as a Steph type of player. See him as a Brunson type of player, handling the ball, being able to shoot. Now, the thing is, because they did not trade Brandon, the pressure is on. This means, hey, you're not a rookie anymore. You're now a sophomore. We think you're going to be the guy, and you're currently moving into that role. We did not go out and get a game-changer Markkanen, 20-plus points a game, 40% from 3 as a 7-footer. You need to step up. So how will he do with the potential now having to be shown on the court? He was first team all last season, which is great. Can he back it up? No sophomore slump. Also, we did not give up our first-round picks, 25, 27, 26, 28, 30, meaning, hey, we want to build through the draft. We want to build with these players. We're not trying to win now by trading away our potential and our future potential. Kuminga, of course, what's going to happen with him? Moody, what's going to happen with him? So we're holding on to our assets very tightly. We did not provide Utah the overwhelming offer. It was Moody, draft picks, draft swaps. But they did not think it was good, and we weren't going to make a bad deal, which I agree with. So Markkanen gets his 5 years, $240 with the Jazz, and he stays there, and apparently that's where he wanted. The Warriors, we did not feel pressure to move forward and make a bad deal. Meaning, hey, we think we can win now with the trades we made for signing Melton, getting in Anderson and Hield in trades, and our young players make steps up. Wiggins goes back to his all-star potential. Steph has not had the best Olympics, but we've seen many people go to the national team and not do well. Brandon Ingram, for example, last year. We know Steph has it in him. The question is, can this team step up enough to really help Steph get back deep in the postseason? Did not mention Draymond. He's a big factor in this as well. So how do the new players fit with Thompson gone? We lost Thompson. We lost Chris Paul. We lost Dario Saric. not that big of a factor. But as a team, we have a healthier team because we're not over the luxury tax anymore. Like, look at this. We're under the $178 million, which was big. We paid over $500 million, closer to $700 million in penalties since 2013. That's a decade of paying penalties. Think about that. We're in the tax 4 out of the past 6 seasons. Joe Lacob is paying a lot of money to win. And when you're winning, it's worth it. The past 2 years, when you're a playing team at best, you're not paying that. He's a businessman at heart. He gets that. So what did we do? You got rid of Klay Thompson. No money. He was a free agent. Chris Paul's $30 million is off the books. So now, if I go to here really quickly, this is where your team's at. We're at the $177 million tax apron hit. That's where we can be at. Our first apron, we have $533,000 before we hit 178, and we're capped. Again, no Quinton Post is signed. We'll see what happens now, and we'll keep you updated there. So subscribe to Warriors Digest. You don't want to miss anything. And we'll have a couple more players coming in for training camp. However, we can't sign the 15th person yet because we don't have the space. So that's where you bring in Melton, you bring in Hield, you bring in Anderson, expecting them to really help. Hield's made the second most three-pointers since 2016, only trailing Steph Curry. Hield and Klay Thompson shot 40% from three the past 3 years really. So you're getting the same production. Thompson was a better defender across his career than Hield. Obviously, he's kind of taken a step back. Hield's never been really known as a defensive presence. I expect him to play harder, hopefully. Obviously, with Jerry Stackhouse coming in, coaching these players. Melton is a good backup point guard, can help out the second unit, especially with Brandon taking over some of that. And we know Anderson is a glue guy, can play multiple positions, can go from 3 or 4, can start if Draymond is out, will be able to help score, and can be versatile on defense. Hield says he's excited to come here. I watched these guys play in college, my pro career. I don't feel any pressure playing Thompson. I just go out there and be the best I can. Anderson, nicknamed Slow-Mo. He can handle the ball. He's 6'9", swing, defense. He can, according to the second spectrum, opposing shooters record a 40% field goal percentage when Anderson contested their shot in 23-24. That ranks second among more than 200 defenders to contest at least 500 attempts last season. So he's a strong defender, can help us guard the second, third best player on the team. Maybe because you would think potentially Kuminga's on the best with his length and athleticism. Sometimes he's not known as the best defender, but Anderson can really help on those wingmen, on people down the paint. Melton can provide good defense at point guard. He won't be someone scoring 20 points a game, but he can step in and be effective. So the question is, these players coming in, these young players, how does Steph Curry, Draymond Green feel about these changes? What apparently they told ESPN, or what they've heard, is they don't want to be the final decision makers. They want to have input on what is happening, but not be a final decision maker. And I get that. You don't want to have someone's career put on you. Now, we reported a couple weeks ago there was a potential trade, and Draymond gave his input that he said that's a bad trade. It helps me now and helps this team in the near term, but actually puts the Warriors at a disadvantage in the long term. And he did not want that to happen, so he vetoed it, and it did not happen. Obviously, they do what they want, final decision, but he has sway. Thompson talked to Curry, talked to Draymond. He did not ask them to use any influence with the ownership and said, you know what? If they want me, they'll do what they want. If they don't, please don't use the influence to get what I want. And I appreciate him saying that. So now the question is, Draymond's had the summer off. Steph's been with the Olympics. How are they going to do moving forward? How are we going to go in the summer camp? Who's the starting 5? And again, if I go back to right here, we really don't know the starting 5. You know it's going to be Steph and Dre. And then there could be some mix of Wiggins, Hield, Anderson, Kuminga, Moody, Brandon, Trace Jackson Davis. So I see 6-7 players potentially for 3 spots. So training camp is going to be big to see what happens and who outperforms, or maybe who falls to the wayside. Maybe a sleeper will come in as well. Curry himself, he's contract extension. He's got 2 years left. If we don't extend him this offseason, correct, we can't extend him during the season. Next season, he'll have 1 year left on his contract. Will that be his final year? Does he want to go one more year? Green's got 3 more years. Kerr's got 2 more years. Curry, I want to win. That's his quote. We broke that down. I don't want to be on a bottom feeder team. So I think this year will tell a lot about what happens with the Warriors. Kuminga, Moody, other young players. Again, if I go back to right here, Kuminga and Moody are in their final year as well. So they are contract extension eligible. If we don't extend them this offseason, we can't extend them during the season. They become restricted free agents next offseason. A team can send them an offer. We have 3 days, 72 hours to be able to say we're going to accept it or they're gone. I think we're going to extend both of them. I saw something Moody maybe gets $20 million in that range a year. Again, knowing that the media rights deal is coming in, salary caps are going to go way up. It may sound like a lot, but it will go down. It will not be a lot in 3 or 4 years. Kuminga, will he get the $220 million deal the other rookies are who are getting supermax? That's the question. Kuminga can get 5 years, 224. Moody's deal could range in 11 to 13 million. I said 20 million there. Sorry, 11 to 13 seems more realistic, but who knows? Maybe you have to pay a premium to keep him if you think he's worth it. How much will Steve Kerr play Moody this offseason? That's what matters most. We saw him come in a lot last season, played well, but really wasn't consistent minutes. Will he get those consistent minutes? And then lastly, we broke this down earlier in the offseason as well. Jerry Stouts, Jerry Stackhouse. What is going to happen with them on the coaching staff? Rest in peace, Deji. We obviously miss him and wish him his family all the well. Really stinks. Kenny Atkinson left the Warriors to become the Cleveland Cavaliers' new head coach. So what's going to happen with Jerry and Terry? Jerry is going to be defensive minded, and he's going to be able to bring that player mentality to the team we haven't had in quite a while from a coaching staff. And he's looking to make these players better, really focusing on young players, getting the best out of them. Terry will focus on the offense, and from his time in Portland, he was known as an in-game manager, tinkering with the offense, tinkering with the formation strategy, and getting the best out of Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, and that Portland team. They just ran into a juggernaut called the Warriors and couldn't get over the hump. So it's bringing new people to the Warriors organization, new ideas, new ability to help out Steve Kerr. We see him on the bench. He's not doing a lot of coaching per se. He does his coaching before games, after games, in the timeouts. I think Jerry and Terry will really help him in the end game with the timeouts, setting up the players to be successful and allowing this team to get the most potential that we can get. And that's what matters most, not Messi's house in Ibiza was vandalized. That's a totally different story. For this Warriors team, we're banking on some veterans coming in who can be successful, and these young core players, Kuminga, Trayce Jackson-Davis, Brandon. I'm not going to say Wiggins is a young player, but all these players raising their potential. Wiggins has not played there the past couple of years and getting better. And you got Anderson, Hield, and Melton coming in. Draymond still playing high-level defense, staying on the court, and Steph being a perennial all-pro player. If they can gel like they can gel, then this team has a chance to be above a play-in. If it's not, look for the Warriors at the trade deadline to do something to shake it up. Bring in the big man, maybe go get another shooter. Maybe they'll say, you know what, Steph, we're going to trade you. That's not going to happen. At that point, maybe they trade Kuminga or Moody or Brandon if they really need to get a second star. And we know there's usually maybe 1 or 2 stars potentially tradable at the trade deadline because they're going on to expiring contract. B, the team's not good and give release salary. And C, they just want out. So this is your quick breakdown. 5 key questions of what we need to do as a Warrior moving forward, answered by ESPN with some analysis by your boy, Randy Silver. Comment your thoughts. Let me know. Until the next one, y'all.